Greetings. I know it's been a while, almost nearly a month, and it seems like the last week or two have been insane. The entire world is going crazy right now. And you know what? It's almost exactly the best time for us to be studying the book of Habakkuk because Habakkuk was talking about a world that was upended. People were going crazy. Things were nuts, and he was praying, Lord, why is all of this stuff happening? Why is the world so bad? Why are there plagues and death and fires and all of the things that we're experiencing now? So I would recommend jumping into the book of Habakkuk with me this morning. We are in these days near the end. Jesus is going to be back soon. So now is the time for us to get into the Word, to study it, to know it more. And we are in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, as for the proud one, his soul is not right within him, but the righteous will live by his faith. Furthermore, wine betrays the haughty man, so that he does not stay home. He enlarges his appetite like Sheol, and he is like death, never satisfied. He also gathers to himself all nations, and collects to himself all peoples. So this is the Chaldeans that were coming in to take spoil. That evil nation would go in and just destroy whatever they found for whatever reasons. They were proud, they were evil. And this is their ways that they were like. Will not all of these take up taunt songs against him, even mockery and insinuations against him, and say, Woe to him who increases what is not his, for how long? To make himself rich with loans. We do live in a world full of credit debt and other kinds of loan debt. It doesn't seem like a day goes by where you don't get some kind of spam email from some company wanting you to take out another loan, because that's how they get you. That's the trap. That's slavery to the debtor. The debtor is slave to the creditor. Yeah. Will not your creditors rise up suddenly, and those who collect from you awaken? Indeed, you will become plunder for them, because you have looted many nations, as all the remainder of the people will loot you because of human bloodshed and violence done to the land, to the town and the inhabitants. So they're getting what they deserved. They're getting what they gave. They sowed evil and unrighteousness, and now they are reaping it. It's very important that we make sure we are sowing good things in the midst of trials sometimes. Not being like the world, but being as far away from the world as we can. The closer we are to the world, the better influence we can be to people. Woe to him who gets evil for his house, to put his nest on high, to be delivered from the hand of calamity. You have devised a shameful thing for your house by cutting off many people. So you are sinning against yourself. Surely the stone will cry out from the wall, and the rafter will answer from the framework. So that's covetousness. That's the desire to have more. That's coveting what other people have. Wanting, and not having. It's evil motives. It's evil thoughts. We want to avoid those things. Then there's ruthless cruelty in verse 12. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed and founds a town with violence. It is indeed from the Lord of hosts. The people toil for fire. The nations grow weary for nothing. For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. And then there's debauchery, which is basically drinking too much. And in these times, it's easy to just have a little bit of a drink once in a while, and that's perfectly fine. But this is talking about people who just spend their entire career drinking, just to let things go, to find some kind of peace, which of course is false peace, but they do it so that they can get away from the realities that are around them, instead of doing what the Lord would want them to do. Woe to you who make your neighbors drink, who mix in your venom, even to make them drunk, so as to look on their nakedness. You will be filled with disgrace rather than honor. Now you yourself drink and expose your nakedness. The cup in the Lord's right hand will come around to you. The cup in the Lord's right hand. Remember that verse. It's good. And utter disgrace will be upon your glory. Verse 17. For the violence done to Lebanon will overwhelm you, the devastation of its beasts, by which you were terrified, because of human bloodshed and violence done to your land, to the town and its inhabitants. See, punishment comes in the form of the ones that did the sin. The sinners are being punished for their deeds in order for God to wake them up. Grace is there. There is grace. There is mercy. God of the Old Testament is the same God as the New Testament, but he still has to let things happen in a way that will wake people up because the world is blind. And if nothing else, this is waking the church up because we're telling everyone to stay home. And in this kind of world we live in, that means house churches can spring up. You have more influence now than ever before to show people that you are God's child and will witness for him. And idolatry comes up in verse 18 to 20. We're going to finish off with this. What profit is the idol when its maker has carved it? Get this? Okay. Or an image, a teacher of falsehood. For its maker trusts in its own handiwork. When he fashions speechless idols. Woe to him who says to a piece of wood, awake. To a mute stone, arise. And that is your teacher. Behold, it is overlaid with gold and silver. There is no breath inside it. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all of the earth be silent before him. Okay, so man fashions his own idols in any form you can think of. We do. It's just the way it works. Anything that you put before God is an idol. All of these things that man puts before God are idols. We have to be careful of not worshiping something over him. But I love verse 20, okay? Because after you've gone through this whole chapter and you realize nothing satisfies. Prominence doesn't satisfy. Position is not going to satisfy. It might feel good for a while, sure. Power always feels good. It just does. And people are not going to help satisfy you either. This is the time when you have to be alone with him. Spend time alone with him. That last verse of chapter 2 is the promise right there. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. Right now in our days, the world is definitely being silent before the Lord. Amen.